To get on the record in Committee of the Whole for Bill 2, the Protection Against Family Violence Amendment Act. And to my reading of it, this is the "we really mean it" amendment bill. Because as a bit of a historical vignette, this piece of legislation has a really interesting pedigree to it. The original version of the bill was introduced by Alice Hansen, who was then the member for Highlands and sat in the official opposition at the time, which was a Liberal caucus then as well. And it is one of the very few bills ever brought forward in this Assembly by a member of the opposition that passed second reading. And there was a great deal of emotional investment in the Act. There were some really amazing speeches from various members of the Assembly, and it's worthwhile to go back and have a look at that. It's very revealing how many people had family members who had been victims of spousal abuse or family violence. May themselves have been in that situation. Very, very interesting. So this was between, this would have been about 1995, 96 maybe, and the bill passed second reading. Over the summer, the member, Alice Hansen, who's now passed away, but she was then the member for Highlands, and she did a number of consultations over the summer, brought the bill back in the fall in Committee of the Whole to do some amendments, and through the use of a procedural parliamentary process, it was perfectly legitimate, but at the time I remember thinking it was a dirty trick, but nonetheless it was a legitimate parliamentary process. And they were in Committee of the Whole. There was a motion to have the chairperson leave the chair. The chairperson left the chair, and therefore they had to rise and go back into the regular proceeding of the House. And the bill literally disappeared into ether because it had not been passed. Nothing had been done with it, and now, so it hadn't been reported. It was nowhere, and it literally disappeared. And the motion was brought forward by the member for Fish Creek. And then when I was first elected in '97, I reintroduced the bill, or a version of it. It didn't get up because I think my number pull was so far back. And then in '98 or '99, the member for Fish Creek brought it forward again under her name, and the bill passed. It has come back to us, I think, once for sure for amendment, because we strengthened a number of the things that had been identified as problematic, particularly around giving more weight to not kind of abusing the victim further. So in situations, for example, where the police intervene, I mean, they're taught, they're trained, move the easiest person. So when you've got a combative father and husband and a victimized wife, spouse, they tend to get the wife to leave. Well, now you've uprooted the wife and the kids, and they're gone. They don't have their toothbrush, their teddy bears, their pajamas, they're nothing. And they go and stay to friends for the night or go to a shelter. And what the legislation was trying to do was give the police more teeth and more options to legally say, nope, sorry, buddy, it's you. The law says you're the one that should be out of here. And it worked with a number of other processes. So I'm very pleased to support this bill. I'm very pleased to see the main thrust of the bill is to establish that offence and penalty provision inside of the legislation for breaches of the emergency protection orders. And someday I'll give you a little historical vignette on the whole history of emergency protection orders and all the different grassroots movements that brought that one into play and eventually got it sort of legitimized and legalized through legislation.